On the anniversary of our 6th wedding anniversary, my wife was halfway through her meal when she suddenly suggested going downstairs to walk the dog. I stood by the window, and to my shock, I witnessed her in a passionate kiss with my brother. Our dog, Kohler, ran off, and she didn't seem to notice at all. What started as a simple dog walk turned into an entire night gone by without her return. When the first light of dawn appeared, my heart seemed to die with it. Then my brother sent me a private message, along with a provocative photo of Liu Ryan. Big brother, you're just like the husband pretending to sleep in the movies. The passengers on the subway who turn a blind eye. You and your dog are the same. Both pathetic fools. I saved his provoking words, along with the disturbing messages in his alternate account, and kept them all. I even drafted the divorce papers. But just then, Liu Ryan returned, bringing Cola with her. She pushed the door open, wearing the smile I knew so well and holding persimmons. Hubby, don't be angry, just let me explain. Yesterday, Cola ran off, and I spent the whole night looking for it. I only found him this morning, hidden in the bushes. I didn't want you to be upset, so I went to the south of the city and bought your favorite persimmon cake. I kept it warm in my pocket for you. It's still hot. She walked up to me, affectionately pressing her cheek against mine, acting cute. Hubby, you feel how warm my belly is. She placed my hand inside her clothes, but I closed the laptop, avoiding her hand. If it had been in the past, I would have forgiven her already. After all, I had seen how she treated others. I was her one and only preference. She pouted slightly, murmuring that I no longer loved her while lifting her shirt to show me. Her delicate skin was burnt red from the hot persimmon cake. Yet I couldn't stop thinking about the seductive photo Joe Dwechi had sent me. The vibrant kiss marks on my stomach were now covered by the burn from the persimmon cake. I looked at Liu Ryan, still acting cute, and felt nothing but contempt. 6 years of love. She played the role of the loving wife, while being with the brother I hated the most. Suddenly, Cola began barking wildly. I snapped out of my emotions, bent down to hug him, but he bit into my arm and wouldn't let go. Blood started to seep out. Liu Ryan struggled with Cola's jaws for a while before finally freeing my hand. She didn't care that her own hands were bruised and bloody, but instead, she anxiously cared for me. Are you okay? Let's go to the hospital. Cola's really been naughty. I'll take him there in a moment. Her ruthless demeanor made me pause. Was I like Kohler, someone who could be discarded at any moment? Cola was the dog we got in the year we married. She never liked Kohler. And perhaps she no longer liked me either. At that moment, Joe Dwechi sent me a message. Big brother, did you get my gift? The dog I trained is quite something, right? Let me show you again what real training is. Meanwhile, Liu Ruyan's phone rang. She glanced at me and then walked a little farther away to answer the call. After hanging up, she had an apologetic expression and said, "Something urgent happened at the bar. You go to the hospital on your own. I'll leave first." I watched her, already putting on her shoes, and I could hardly control my emotions. I struggled to speak up. Can you not go? She paused for a moment, then ran into my arms. I even thought if she changed her mind, I'd pretend like nothing happened. But the next second, she broke free from my embrace and turned to leave. She was still lying to me. Honey, be good. There's trouble at the bar. I have to go. I'll be back to eat with you later. She had an older brother, but at home, she was made to do the dirty work. Once I had protected her, and for that, her enemies took revenge on me. They cruelly severed my tendons. For the past 2 years, I've been recovering at home. Although I became a stay-at-home husband, I've always felt very happy. Even if others call me a kept man, I just think they're jealous. But it turned out it wasn't jealousy. It was sympathy. Not long after she left, I received a delivery. It was disinfectant supplies. Immediately, the phone rang again. Honey, I know you don't like going to the hospital. Handle it first and I'll come back to give you a shot. The man's light laugh came through the receiver. Liu Ruyan instantly hung up the phone. But I heard it very clearly. It was Zhou Jueqi's voice. As expected, his private message came through again. Good brother, my parents are mine. My sister-in-law is also mine. Eventually, the family fortune will be mine too. You may be the legitimate young master, but it doesn't matter. Back then, I was swapped out by his mother and left to wander for years. I wasn't the respectable heir the Zhou family wanted, and they insisted on not marrying into the family. The Zhou family didn't welcome me, but they dote on him a lot. I once had Liu Ruyan. Naturally, I didn't care about his provocations, but now Liu Ruyan has betrayed me. She was once the one who protected me the most. It was she who brought me back to the Zhou family. The Zhou family doesn't like me, but she stood up for me. When Zhou Jueqi hit me, she fought back. When Zhou Jueqi framed me, she took a knife and went to their door to seek justice for me. She didn't mind being called a shrew. She said that anyone who bullied me was going to have a problem with her. At that time, she was just a small figure in the Liu family, but she was willing to stir up trouble for me. Later, I resisted the arranged marriage with my life. Despite my parents' insanity, I still insisted on marrying her. Things have changed. Now it's our 37th year of depending on each other. Liu Ruyan, after all these years, we're going our separate ways now. I quickly treated my injury and went downstairs to find Kohler. Kohler was nearby. He wouldn't stay away from home for long. As I was searching, I bumped into a familiar security guard. He heard I was looking for my dog. He suggested taking me to check the surveillance. I sat in the monitoring room while he was called away by the supervisor. I continued to browse through the footage by myself. I saw Liu Ruyan and them kissing passionately, unwilling to part. Eventually, they simply got into the car together. My koa had finished its usual route and was heading home when it was suddenly yanked by the leash. The man, sneaky and furtive, strangled Kohler. He ruthlessly killed Kohler, tossing its lifeless body into the bushes. The man was one of Zhou Jueqi's lackeys, always by his side, inseparable. I clenched my fists as I watched. If Liu Ruyan had gotten out of the car and taken a look, she would have seen Kohler struggling. In its final moments, it looked toward the car. But Liu Ruyan stayed inside the car, never coming out. I opened the dashcam footage on my phone. The horrifying images, accompanied by audio, started playing. My dog was still out there. But my dog was in my arms. With the sound of soft gasps, Liu Ruyan had forgotten about our Kohler. It wasn't until she got out of the car and saw Kohler's lifeless body that she realized. Zhou Jueqi showed no concern. Hearing her frantic voice, saying she was going to lose her mind, he laughed even more mockingly. He was just a fool. You've been lying to him for so long, and he still hasn't figured it out? Just bring a dog that looks the same back. Yang Dao ran over holding a similar dog. Liu Ruyan's face turned pale, but she still accepted it. Don't say a word about it not being good enough. He's not someone you can speak of. You're not worthy. Zhou Jueqi's face twisted with anger. He roughly pinned Liu Ruyan and kissed her. Her anger dissipated in the heat of the moment. When she was with me, she always said she was tired, and she only liked holding me. Turns out she was well-fed already. I found Kohler's lifeless body in the flower bed, its eyes still wide open in death. After burying it properly, I returned home. The dog at home, identical to Kohler, was still there. The moment I opened the door, it bolted outside. I didn't bother to stop it. The divorce papers were already printed. It was time for me to go back and take over the family business. 3 days ago, when Grandma contacted me, I was in the kitchen making food for Liu Ruyan. She loved the fresh sweetness of Cantonese cuisine. I stayed by the stove, watching over the soup as it simmered. One meal's preparation took the entire day. Grandma's voice came through as the steam rose from the pot. How's it going? Does being a kept man taste that good? Liu Ruyan stopped loving you long ago. These years, she's had countless big brothers and little brothers by her side. Outsiders say our Zhou family is the eternal cuckold. If you don't divorce her and come back, then don't ever think about returning. Grandma had no affection for me. She had single-handedly built the Zhou family empire. Grandpa passed away early, and she raised my father to be weak. Now, she was the one in charge of the Zhou family. What she wanted was an heir. I paused for a moment before replying. Grandma, Ruyan isn't like that. Our love is something no one else can understand. Grandma let out a cold laugh and told me to wait and see before hanging up. I heard she had kicked Zhou Jueqi out of the company. No matter how much my father protested, it was futile. Perhaps that's why he was so desperate to confront me. Now, Grandma was calling me again. Her tone carried an unquestionable authority. Boy, come home immediately. Grandma is handing the company over to you. After all, Zhou Jueqi wasn't my biological son. This time, I didn't hesitate. I understand. I'll come back. I took off my wedding ring. The deep imprint left on my finger from the ring stung painfully. It was a mark of love. I stared at the ring, tears streaming down my face. The crystal display shelf where the jewelry was kept suddenly cracked. I bent down to pick it up and found Liu Ruyan's wedding ring, but she clearly had a ring on her finger. I began flipping through Zhou Jueqi's sister-in-law's diary. Sure enough, I found photos of them wearing matching custom-made rings. The caption read, "Caller, this belongs only to me." To keep me from finding out, Liu Ruyan really went to great lengths. She even wore the same ring. I'd often run my fingers over that ring, talking about our past. Was she thinking about me or Zhou Jueqi? I didn't want to think about it any longer. As I started packing my bags, I discovered an unfamiliar set of dinner clothes in the wardrobe. I collapsed to the floor, utterly defeated. I smoked an entire pack of cigarettes. The scene of Liu Ruyan once tugging at my ears, trying to get me to quit smoking, flashed before my eyes. When the smoke cleared, my tears had run dry. I spent the whole night cleaning, from dawn till midnight. Liu Ruyan, who had said she'd return soon, never came back. Instead, her best friend sent me a message. Ruyan has been beaten. Come quickly. I casually replied, on my way. But instead of rushing out like I normally would, I continued packing. It was as if I were erasing every trace of myself. On the table lay a hidden gift. A beautiful silk dress, including the untouched persimmon cake I had left. The divorce papers were placed right in the center. I took off the keys, placed them on the table, and shut the door behind me as I left. I went to see her for the last time. When I arrived at the bar, it was at its liveliest. I pushed through the crowd, my head low. At the center of the room, a group of people surrounded the main stage. There was no tension, no hostile standoff as I had imagined. I squeezed through and saw Liu Ruyan holding a Lego set, smiling foolishly as she looked at me. Zaiming, you're here. Today is your birthday. Did you forget? 2 hours had passed since Jia called, yet she hadn't shown any sign of returning. She took slow steps towards me, and my dry eyes suddenly welled up with tears. It wasn't from emotion, but from the absurdity of it all. Today was Zhou Jueqi's birthday. I clearly remembered. 9 years ago, when I first returned to the Zhou family, the resentful look Zhou Jueqi gave me. She had made a mistake, but I didn't confront her about it. I let her fall into my arms. Zhou Jueqi stood there, smiling slyly, then stepped forward and called out, "Sister-in-law." His eyes, however, were locked on me. Sister-in-law. Big brother doesn't seem too happy. Liu Ruyan stood up and retorted, "How could that be? I've prepared a surprise for his birthday. He won't be unhappy." Her eyes lingered on me, soft and tender. "Zaiming, it was me who made Jia lie to you. You came later than I expected, but I'm willing to wait, as long as it's you. No matter how long it takes, it's fine. I didn't spend our wedding anniversary properly with you a few days ago. I know you were unhappy about it. Today, I want to make it up to you. That's your favorite Lego set. I spent a whole year putting it together. It's all my fault for being too busy. That's something I said last year. She had actually remembered it. The DJ switched the song to Because of Love. Under the soft music, Liu Ruyan pulled out a pregnancy test result. Good news! We're going to have a baby. I couldn't help but want to laugh. It wasn't out of joy. My heart had long since turned barren. Today wasn't my birthday, and the child couldn't possibly be mine, because I had already had a vasectomy. She froze. Her eyes, filled with deep hurt, looked at me helplessly. She replied, I didn't want to have a child. I was afraid it would hurt. So I secretly had the procedure done without telling you. I never expected this surprise. I closed my eyes, not wanting to see her lies anymore. But Jojwachi stepped forward, tightening his grip on her hand. His gaze was intense. Sister-in-law, congratulations. The child is mine, isn't it? All eyes in the room turned to me. Liu Ruyan panicked and shook Jojwachi's hand away. In an instant, her demeanor turned cold and frosty. Don't say such nonsense. I'm your sister-in-law. Your elder brother is still here. I called you here so you two brothers could improve your relationship, not for you to spout nonsense. She was extremely flustered, turning to me to explain. Don't listen to him. He's talking nonsense, Ziming. You believe me, don't you? I know you don't like him, but I hope you can have your family and friends around you. That's why I acted on my own. If you don't like it, I won't do it again. Don't say things in anger. How could the child not be yours? It's my fault for getting the birthday wrong. I was too busy and forgot. But my love for you is real. Her eyes were so sincere, like when we were 18. I pushed her hand away. I quietly watched her performance. Jojwachi, however, burst out laughing. He walked over and casually draped his arm around me. The cold scent of tobacco filled the air. I pushed him away and he smiled, explaining to everyone, my elder brother's child, isn't it mine? We're all from the Zhou family. Why make such a big deal out of it? It's just a joke. I looked at Liu Ruyan. Ruyan, we grew up together. We promised each other we wouldn't deceive one another. Do you remember? Liu Ruyan nodded. A flash of guilt crossed her eyes, but she quickly hid it. Ziming, I know it was wrong to lie to you. I just wanted to give you a surprise. I'm sorry. She rarely acted spoiled in front of others. Our familiar friends around us started teasing. Oh, the tigress has a day where she acts cute. What am I hearing? Yingya is acting cute. That's a ghost story. I'd believe it if you said she hit someone, but acting cute, never seen that before. You don't understand. No wonder my sister has a husband. You bunch of bachelors don't understand anything. This is called contrast. Our friends around us started egging it on, but I didn't want to listen anymore. I'm leaving. Liu Ruyan. Goodbye. Perhaps Liu Ruyan had drunk a little. She seemed a bit slow. She blinked and looked at me. Where are you going? Going home? I'm coming too. She staggered toward me. Jojwachi stopped her. Sister-in-law, don't go! You finally came out. You should spend time with my elder brother at home, but you should also spend time with us, the brothers, once in a while. Our friends around us agreed. Liu Ruyan looked at me, grinning foolishly. No! I like Ziming the most. I have to go home. She said that, but didn't move. She let the crowd surround her. Jojwachi almost held her in his arms. She looked helpless. Go home first. Ziming, I'll be back soon. Make me some hangover soup. I stared deeply at her. Goodbye, Liu Ruyan. I've prepared a surprise for you at home. Don't forget to check it out. There's no hangover soup. And there's no home. After saying that, I turned and left. I didn't look back. I drove back to the Zhou family home. Grandma was sitting on the massage chair, Come and collected. Back already, you brat? I've called you so many times, and you didn't come back. If it weren't for me giving Jojwechi a strong push, you'd still be running around with her, caught up in a whirlwind. And Yang looked at me apologetically. She handed me a cup of flower tea and gestured for me to sit down. She was Grandma's secretary, always by her side. You were brought back by Liu Ruyan back then. You thought she was interested in you, always helping you find your parents, right? Hey, you really are a fool. In truth, she couldn't stand her ground in the Liu family. She was just an adopted daughter. She was brought back by Liu Lauer to be a pawn, to shield his son from misfortune. She got close to you, and that's how she secured her position in the Liu family. But even if she married you, the core of the Liu family would never accept her. She's just her brother's thug. Do you know why she ended up with Jwechi? Years ago, I gave Jwechi power, and they used each other. One wanted to fight, the other wanted to take the hits. One got more money, but you got hurt for her. Did anyone ever ask if it hurt? Isn't it all pointless? Don't you want to go out and achieve something? Grandma paused for a moment, then continued. I deliberately didn't give you any power. She was nice to you. I wanted to see how long she could pretend to be good. After you two got married for a year, she started having men around her. Back then, you were still by her side. She didn't dare, but once you were no longer in the picture, she started. Jwechi wasn't the first. I listened in silence. As the filth under my seemingly perfect marriage was revealed, I only felt a cold chill run through my body. Enough, Grandma, I don't want to hear any more of this. I'm done with Liu Ruyan. From now on, there's no more connection between us. I'll go to work at the company tomorrow. Grandma just wants an heir. She doesn't care about me. I'm not even as good as the cat on her lap. I stood up and went upstairs. Jojwechi, however, returned with Liu Ruyan. Big brother, why are you back? Just so happens that my wife drank too much, so I brought her back to stay the night. You don't mind, right? Liu Ruyan leaned in his arms, unaware. I stood on the second floor and spoke coldly. Do as you like, Liu Ruyan. Your alcohol tolerance is pathetic. Don't pretend. Liu Ruyan's lashes fluttered, but she didn't dare open her eyes. I turned and went back to my room, ignoring her. Grandma closed her eyes again. Yang Yi was making tea on the side. The two of them pretended not to see. Jojwechi carried Liu Ruyan upstairs. Liu Ruyan pushed open the door, looking at me foolishly. She mumbled, Zaiming. I need to find Zaiming. I need to find my husband. She threw herself at me, her mouth carrying Jojwechi's cigarette smell. Jojwechi watched from a distance, his face full of mockery. He silently mouthed. I let Liu Ruyan fall to the ground. Then I rushed over and punched him. You think you've got it all figured out? You think by taking her, you've won? I'll tell you. You won't get anything you want. You're just a fake. I watched him kneel on the ground, unable to get up, then turned around to place Liu Ruyan on the bed. I slept on the couch beside her. Liu Ruyan opened her eyes in bed. Not a trace of drunkenness in them. The next morning, when Liu Ruyan didn't wake up, I went to the company. Grandma's secretary was very professional, helping me quickly get familiar with the company's projects. Jojwechi stormed into the company, cursing all the way. The employees below didn't dare to stop him. The secretary looked at me, clearly distressed. I told them to all leave. Jojwechi glared at me with envy and cursed. Who do you think you are? A piece of trash raised in an orphanage. And you dare sit in this position? That old lady is so biased. Get out of here. Dad won't let you take over. Wait for it. Dad will be here soon. I didn't ask Grandma for help. I had to handle some things on my own. I'm the real son of the Joe family. If it weren't for your mom, you'd never experience such a good life. Before I get really mad. Get out! He couldn't see the situation clearly. His face turned pale, but he didn't dare to step forward. His body was hollowed out by indulgence in wine and food, while I had been doing rehabilitation due to injuries. Maybe it was because of the punch from last night. He didn't make a move, but then he quickly changed the subject to Liu Ruyan. Your wife's figure is really great. She knows a lot of tricks in bed. She said, "You're no good. I know some urologists. I could introduce them to you." I calmly replied, "Keep them for yourself. You still don't know how many people she's been with." He punched the air in frustration, his face turning red. When Joe BG pushed the door open, he looked like he had seen a life-saving straw. "Dad, you need to control your brother. He cursed me to die sooner." My foolish father, adjusting his gold-rimmed glasses, raised his fatherly demeanor, but didn't scold me. He turned to drag Joe Jwechi out of the office. "Don't embarrass me. All these years I've given you chances, but you're useless. Just leave already." He shoved Joe Jwechi out, clearing his throat in a showy way. "Ziming, don't tell your grandmother we were here." Joe Jwechi tried to say something else, but Joe BG pushed him out of the room. At that moment, my phone rang. It was Liu Ruyan. I clicked to block her. She sent me a message asking what I meant, one message after another. She cursed me, calling me a heartless man for not trusting her. She was pregnant, yet I still doubted her. I ignored all of it. After work, I was forcibly dragged into a car by a group of people. Familiar faces, all with wry smiles, started explaining to me, "Brother-in-law, we really didn't mean it. It was Ruyan's instruction. Did you guys have a fight? If you had a fight, don't drag us into it. Ruyan's been cursing everything in her path today. Please, brother-in-law, please just calm her down." I interrupted their playful attempts. "We're getting a divorce." They all looked at each other in shock. Yang Ye casually said, "Is it because of Joe Jwechi? He's been close to Ruyan lately. But brother-in-law, you've been together for so many years. How could they compare to you guys?" So, you all know the things Liu Ruyan has done over the years. The atmosphere grew heavy and everyone fell silent. "Brother, Ruyan's behavior outside is inevitable. You need to be more forgiving." I laughed out of anger. I didn't say another word for the rest of the ride. They brought me to the top floor of a KTV. Everyone left. Only Liu Ruyan remained, her expression filled with displeasure as she looked at me. "What's the meaning of this? I came home full of hope, and the gift you left me was divorce papers? I burned myself making persimmon cakes for you. The scars still hurt. You didn't even eat them once. And now everything from the house is gone. All our memories from growing up together. You threw them all away. What are you trying to do? Have you lost your mind?" She threw the divorce papers to the ground, her eyes instantly turning red. "You want to divorce me? I'm carrying your child. After all the years we've been together. Do you have someone else outside?" She lunged at me, biting my shoulder, kicking and hitting me furiously. Her tears mixed with blood as they dripped down. I calmly said, "I had a vasectomy. I had the procedure done right after we got married. Very well, whose child you're carrying." She froze, gradually loosening her grip. Then she buried herself in my arms, sobbing uncontrollably. She just cried without saying a word. I pushed her a few times, but she wouldn't budge, so I let her be. "That day, you said you were taking the dog for a walk. I was on the balcony watching. I saw you run to him and hug him. I saw you kiss. Do you know Cola is dead? It died right beside the car where you were cheating. I forgot you already knew. You even got a fake dog." Back then, she found Cola in the neighborhood. The notoriously fierce Liu Ruyan held the puppy, smiling so gently. "Ziming, let's keep it, okay? You loved dogs when you were little. Back then, we couldn't afford one, but now we can give it the best. A dog we raised for 5 years. How could I not recognize it? Liu Ruyan, you think I'm a fool? Even now, you're still trying to lie to me." By the end, my veins were bulging, and I practically shouted the words. She clung to me, shaking her head, her tears soaking through my clothes. It's not like that, she whispered, pale and trembling. But she couldn't explain what it was. I decided to keep going. Cola is dead. I was bitten by Jweki's dog. And you answered his call to go cheat on me. If I'm not mistaken, while I was burying Cola, you were with my brother. My eyes reddened. My heart ached unbearably, but I couldn't cry. I only felt a fire burning inside me, strong enough to consume me entirely. I grabbed her hand and pulled off the diamond ring from her finger, softly reciting the initials engraved on the inside. ZJQ, TJY, Liu Ruyan. I didn't know you were so romantic. Did our rings have these initials back then? My tone grew eerily calm. She stepped back from my embrace, wiped her tears, and forced a mocking smile. Why do you have to humiliate me like this? These past days, you've just watched me like a clown, trying to please you. Do you think I'm ridiculous? You were injured for 2 years and did nothing. Do you know how hard it's been for me? I need a man who can stand up for me, not a spineless coward who stays at home cooking soup. I was the one who took care of her biggest competitor, and because of that, I was targeted and taken away. I was locked up for a whole month, tortured until there wasn't a piece of good skin left on my body. When I got out, I couldn't even walk. And now I'm a coward? I laughed through my rage. Liu Ruyan, I got hurt for you. How can you say something like that? She raised her head, defiant. I didn't ask you to do that. Are you trying to tie me down now? I nodded, not wanting to argue anymore. She always needed to win in every fight. I've let her win for so many years. And now I'm still letting her win. So we're getting a divorce. Have you signed the papers? No need to worrying. We'll go to the Civil Affairs Bureau in a month. Suddenly, she panicked. But she didn't believe I would actually leave her. It wasn't until I turned and walked away without a glance back that she cried and lunged at me. Don't go! I was wrong. I'm sorry, Ziming. Please don't go. I was already exhausted. I pried her hands off one by one and left without a second thought. But her people blocked my way. The narrow hallway was instantly filled with people. Everyone stared at us, confused. Some whispered to me, "Brother-in-law, please don't make this harder for us. Just comfort her already." I said coldly, "She's carrying someone else's child, and you want me to comfort her? If your wives cheat, you guys just pretend it never happened." Everyone lowered their heads and fell silent. Liu Ruyan stepped forward and knelt in front of everyone. All I could see was her delicate neck. I used to lean against it, feeling like I owned the whole world. "Get up!" I grabbed her, but she wouldn't rise. She always cared about her pride, yet here she was, crying uncontrollably in front of everyone. I was wrong, Ziming. Don't leave me. I'll get rid of the child. We'll stay together, okay? I don't want the Liu family's business anymore. I'll listen to you. I won't do anything anymore. We'll go home. You wanted to be an architect. We'll go back to school. I'll go with you to chase your dreams, okay? Don't leave me. What she did was too dangerous. I advised her to step out of the power game. But she refused. She insisted that a strong woman should make her own way in the world. I respected her, quietly staying by her side, ignoring my own dreams. But now I've long since lost all my dreams. I just want to take over the company and crush Zhou Jueqi beneath my feet. No, I don't want to be an architect anymore. Then what do you want to do? I'll follow you. She clung to me, unwilling to let go, as if she feared that if she released me, I would vanish. What's going on here? Zhou Jueqi walked over with a look of amusement. When Zhou Jueqi realized it was Liu Ruyan kneeling on the ground, his face turned deathly pale with rage. Get up! Liu Ruyan, what are you doing? If he doesn't want you, I'll take you. Liu Ruyan shook him off and replied coldly, Get lost. If it weren't for you seducing me, Ziming and I wouldn't have ended up like this. It's all your fault. Joe Juechi gritted his teeth and nodded. I've already sent him all those bad photos of you. What's so great about him that he's worth all this? Huh? My grandma is the same. And so are you. You're all obsessed, aren't you? I'm clearly 10 times better than him. Does lineage really matter that much? Liu Ruyan, didn't you tell me yourself? He's useless in bed. You've been sick of him for a long time. You didn't even want to go home when you saw him. Liu Ruyan stood up and slapped him hard across the face, the force making his head turn. Blood dripped from the corner of his mouth. What nonsense are you spouting? I've made it very clear to you. You're not worthy of talking about him. Who are you to criticize Ziming? Listening to them tear each other apart. I used the chaos as a chance to leave. All of it disgusted me to my core. The next day, I received a letter in my office. It was written on a leaf, with only the words, "I'm sorry." I threw it into the trash and ignored it. From then on, I started receiving letters written on leaves every day. It was our old signal for apologies. She used to express the words she couldn't say out loud on leaves. I forgave her every time. But not anymore. It was another late night at the office. When I went downstairs, I saw Ruyan standing there, her expression desolate. I didn't know how long she had been waiting. When she saw me come down, her eyes lit up. She was holding a sunflower in her arms. She always said that boys need flowers too. For all these years, I never envied others. I remained firm in my belief that I was happy, even when everyone else said I was living off a woman. But now, I realized that happiness was like chocolate-covered shit. It made me feel like I had something stuck in my throat. Her face was deathly pale. She had clearly been waiting for me for a long time. Why did you come down so late? This is too much. You're pushing yourself too hard. You're going to wear yourself out. She rambled onto herself. She tried to shove the flower into my hands. I didn't take it. The flower fell to the ground, but I could smell a strange fragrance. She lowered her head and stopped talking. I took a step back, waiting for the driver to bring the car over. She lifted her head, tears streaming down her face. Her expression was filled with deep regret as she begged me. "Husband, I've had an abortion. The reason I've been absent these days is that I had the surgery done. Please come back with me. I can handle the Liu family business in the next few days. I've already talked to my dad. From now on, I'll stay at home and cook for you. I've learned to make your favorite sweet and sour pork ribs. We can even get another dog, like Kohler." I remained silent. She probably thought I was moved. So she continued. "I've cleared things up with Joe Juechi. He won't bother us anymore. I was just temporarily confused, but I still love you the most. Please believe me." I only asked her one question. "Back then, when you brought me to the Joe family, was it for me or was it for yourself?" I didn't want to go to the Joe family at first. It was you who kept guiding me, telling me that the Joe family would always accept me and they would love me. But in reality, the Joe family had Joe Juechi. They had no idea that I was their real son. I was questioned, accused of trying to scam them. It took a long time before I was finally accepted back into the Joe family. And when I returned, there was no warmth, only disdain and suppression. But you, on the other hand, gained real benefits. You established yourself, built a career. Step by step, you became an important adopted daughter of the Liu family. In your true feelings for me, what exactly is mixed in? Is it money or is it profit? Can you clarify that? She looked at me, her expression unchanging. "Don't blame me. Tomorrow you'll be fine." Just as I was about to ask, I felt a wave of dizziness. I suddenly thought of the bouquet of flowers. Before I lost consciousness, I felt a soft kiss on my forehead. I fell into a long dream. In the dream, Liu Ruyan and I were both 18 years old. We sat on the roof, the wind blowing through our hair, talking about the future. Her smile was radiant. In her eyes, there was a galaxy of stars. "We'll always be together. Ziming." In my world, you are the most precious and loved person to me. I nodded. Yes, we will. The faint sound of a dog barking reached my ears. I struggled to open my eyes, but I found myself weak all over. My left hand was cuffed to the bed, unable to move. A dog that looked exactly like Cola was beside me, licking my hand. I weakly sat up, noticing that the room had no sharp objects, and even the floor was covered with a thick carpet. The door opened and Liu Ruyin walked in, wearing a school uniform, her usual glamour washed away. She carried a bowl of soup, placing it beside me, and affectionately introduced, "I made chicken soup for you, and your favorite sweet and sour pork ribs. I even bought fresh persimmon cakes. After we eat, we can go downstairs for a walk." I tried to suppress the irritation in my heart and reasoned with her. "Ruyin, how long do you think you can keep me locked up like this? The Zhou family will come looking for me, and the Liu family won't let you off either." Liu Ruyin played with a strand of her long hair, as if she hadn't heard me casually sharing. "Zai Ming, my hair has grown a bit long lately. You know how to cut hair, right? Help me." She turned around, urging me. "Hurry up." I waved her off impatiently. "How? You've got me tied up like this. How did I not realize, Liu Ruyin, that you're such a lunatic? You disgust me to no end." Liu Ruyin turned around, her eyes rimmed with red. She almost lost her mind, pouncing on me and biting me. But when she heard my muffled groan, she hesitated, loosening her grip slightly and instead holding me tightly, murmuring, "Don't say that. The world can insult and hate me, but not you." She took out a key and unlocked the handcuffs. But in the next second, she cuffed her own hand to mine. "Now you can move freely. I won't agree to a divorce unless I die." I was trapped in the cage she had created for me. There was no escaping. Since we turned 18, we hadn't had this much free time together. Now there was plenty of time, but we had grown weary of each other. I spent most of my time in silence, and she didn't mind at all. In the large villa, she had set up an art studio, a pottery room, and many other handcraft projects. She pulled me into revisiting the past, making me redo everything I had discarded. Even photos were reshot in the same poses as before. I pretended to be the obedient lion, cooperating with her every step, but she never let her guard down. A few days ago, I tried escaping again, but I failed. I was locked back to the bed, unable to move. Helpless. I pretended to be ill. Back in the orphanage, when I was bullied, I'd feign vomiting. I'd foam at the mouth and roll my eyes, looking like I was dying. After dinner today, I pretended my stomach hurt and rolled on the bed, rolling my eyes in pain. Liu Ruyin panicked immediately. She tried to stay calm while determining if I was faking, but her words trembled. "Don't pretend. I've seen these tricks before. You can fool others, but not me." My body began to convulse. She frantically unlocked the handcuffs. She picked me up and rushed me outside. "I'll take you to the hospital." To the hospital? As soon as I saw the car, I grabbed her by the neck and demanded the car keys. She didn't get angry. She just took out a knife from her waist and stood in front of the car. I started the engine. She slashed at her arm, creating a beautiful arc of blood. "You can leave, but think carefully. If you leave, I will die." She smiled nonchalantly and sliced her arm again, blood dripping steadily. She stood to the side, her face growing paler by the second. I slammed the gas pedal and drove past her, throwing one last line at her. "The moment you cheated, I was already dead." As I broke free from the cage, I called for an ambulance for her. When I returned to the Zhou family, I found that Zhou Jueqi had also disappeared. The police were going crazy looking for us. After I returned, I provided them with Liu Ruyin's address. When they arrived, they rescued Zhou Jueqi. His arms and legs had been broken, just like what had happened to me before. Liu Ruyin was rushed to the hospital. Her hands were stained with so much blood. It couldn't be washed clean anymore. I took over the company, becoming the loneliest light in the sea of people. The office became my second home. 3 years later, I handed the company over to Joe Jwechi. He looked utterly delighted. After becoming a cripple, the Joe family had kicked him out and forced him to fend for himself. He couldn't do anything. He became a debtor. I saw that he hadn't come to his senses yet, so I quickly left for abroad. When my grandmother handed me the company, it was already showing signs of losses. She was getting old, and the company was plagued by parasites. I didn't have extraordinary skills. The company didn't get better under my control. Instead, it became heavily in debt. When he took over, there was only debt, nothing to protect it. I never gave up on my dream of becoming an architect. I've been studying all these years. I went abroad because I received an admission letter. The Joe family never raised me, but they tried to control me. They were dreaming. When I stepped onto the campus, I felt refreshed. Everything from back home was irrelevant to me. Meanwhile, Liu Ruyan was sentenced. She wouldn't be out in less than 20 years. After she entered prison, she sent me a new divorce agreement. She gave me all of her personal assets from these years. She left the house with nothing, and there was a letter made from tree leaves. It had nothing written on it, only marks from insects gnawing at it. I looked at it under the sunlight, but all I saw was a tattered piece of paper. At this point, nothing mattered anymore. Why don't you have a name? From now on, you'll be called Ziming. Aiming for greatness, Ziming. I returned to Ziyi. Just like you, I have no home. From now on, I'll protect you. Little Liu Ruyan took the confused Joe Ziming's hand and walked into the crowd. Their story had already ended. The story that truly belonged to Joe Ziming had just begun. The end.